Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing another video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. And I want to talk about shadow and light as metaphors. And there are a lot of stories and ideas that connect with these things. And I want to make an example in this video. It won't be a long video, but shadow and light, such as the choice that people make each day and at each crossroads that they arrive at where a decision is called for. And the example I want to make, first of all, is whether or not to snitch. Pretty basic, right? Now, you've heard the expression, I'm sure, snitches get stitches. And there's kind of two schools of thought. There's two ways you can exist. And there is a logical end game here. And I want to explore this. There are short-term benefits to both sides, right? So if you choose to keep your mouth shut when something's going on, you obviously aren't going to make a mistake verbally, but sometimes information has to flow for other reasons. I want to dive into this. As an aside, I'll circle back to this subject in just a minute. You've heard of the famous basketball player Michael Jordan, I'm sure. Everybody's heard of Michael Jordan. He has a big, long brand of shoes and other products, and he was one of the most talented and influential basketball players of all time, Michael Jordan. And turns out, this is kind of funny, Michael Jordan didn't make all his shots, did he? He didn't actually make all his shots. Is he expected to? Is he required to? Would it be ridiculous to assume that he had? Probably. But he was amazing nonetheless. He was an amazing athlete and extremely good at basketball. But there's still people out there, and this is how it's connected, people who will always root for somebody to fail. They will assume the worst. They try to get things to happen to make people fail. They will place bets or wagers in one form or another to try to capitalize on people's failure. They laugh when people fall down and they celebrate it. And yes, there's a time when it's called for to be happy, such as when, a prey or a hunted creature that would feed your family is finally fallen down and it represents food for your family. That's just one kind of remote example where you might be able to celebrate such a thing, but it's got to be on the outside, that it can't be your daily driver trying to trip people up and just be a dirtbag, because that's kind of what it is. Celebrating being a dirtbag is a short-term profit model. That's what I like to call them, short-term profit models, where it'll feed you today at the cost of 2 meals tomorrow. It's unsupportable, unsustainable. And the only way you can keep this model going is by being a dirtbag every single day. You get locked into the pattern of being a dirtbag just by doing it once. It becomes a lifestyle by necessity just to keep it going. Unfortunately, a lot of people fall into this. So in the question of snitching, this is how it's connected, and ultimately walking in the light or in the shadows. What do you do when something happens? If somebody's, doing something they shouldn't, they stole something or cheated somebody, it depends, right? So it really does depend, and it takes judgment. It takes analysis, a little bit of wisdom, and no, you should not open your mouth every time. Nobody likes a tattletale. There's a lot of reasons not to do that, but unfortunately also there are some reasons to do it. There are times when, for example, say, it's off the chain. So you got a Charles Manson or a Ted Bundy who's killing people, and if you fail to report it, you happen to see the guy do it. Well, that's just, there's no community that's safe from that kind of thing. You see the extreme, how it has to happen. You have to snitch at that point. There's always some point where failing to snitch is going to cost you immediately. So I'm not saying rush to it. It's a difficult choice to make. It really is. And there's an exploit here. As an aside, the reason I'm making this video is yesterday I was kind of set up in a humorous way, I think, where somebody tried to see if they could get me to snitch, and they succeeded. I was made to believe that a tablet got stolen. I saw some people who I've had history with in the past who have thrown rocks at me, and they're just kind of, young pranksters and punks, these two people. And they appeared before me with a tablet in their hand, looking like they were up to no good. And then shortly thereafter, I was presented with another scene where this person was asking the front desk where I spend my day whether somebody had turned in a tablet. Okay, it's clearly a setup. At the time, I was ignorant. I said, "Oh, hey, bro, I saw this person. I identified the person. I said I saw him about an hour ago, and he was going that way with a tablet." And I assumed it was his because I was led to believe that. Right? It was an organized display that entrapped me in snitching. So I stand by my choice. And the point of this video is you can choose to walk in the sunlight and occasionally miss your shots, like Michael Jordan, or you can dwell in the shadows. You can celebrate that and let that be your lifestyle. And on average, it will take you down. You will find out that the cost is unsupportable to live that way. No, you will never make all your shots. No, you will never be right all the time. You're not expected to be. You don't have to be. So if that's the argument against doing the right thing, that you could make a mistake, shoot, you already know you're going to make a mistake. That's how you learn. Nobody expects you to be perfect. If you agree, disagree, reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.